The Food and Drug Administration is now recommending a so-called box warning on materials used in breast implants. That is the strongest FDA-required warning for labeling. It tells consumers and healthcare providers about potential serious risks of certain drugs and devices. Now, one warning does state breast implants are not considered lifetime devices. Another warns that implants have been associated with cancer. The recommendations have not yet been finalized, but joining us now to just break down all the new FDA regulations is plastic surgeon Dr. Stuart Linder. Good morning. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Well, let's get right into it. Let's talk about these box warnings. What do they mean?
Well, the box warnings are the FDA's highest specific details that are now being put on the implant boxes themselves. They haven't done this in the past, but they now want to be able to have the women and the patients be able to understand the risks, the complications, side effects, and that these implants are not lifetime devices. They will need to be replaced.
And let's get into that. A lot of times women who may be considering breast augmentation or have had it done, they think that maybe the surgery, it will be the one and only time they will do that. But what does it mean that they are not lifetime devices?
Well, it's very simple. Saline and silicone implants are not going to last forever. Just like tires on your car, you're going to have to replace them sooner or later. And the fact is, we don't know when that time is going to be. Some women's implants will last up to 20 years, some will last 2 or 3 years. It all depends upon the implant, the shell of the implant, as well as the activity of the patient. So it means that if you have breast augmentation surgery, expect you'll have to have it revised and have to have new implants down the road.
Is there anything that women should be checking for, anything that they can do to really keep up with that, to just make sure they know if they need to go back in?
Yeah, and there are two different types of implants. When you're dealing with saline implants, really there's not any diagnostic testing, because if the saline implant ruptures, the breast will turn flat. As you'd expect, a balloon turns flat. Clinically, you know, obviously, hey, I have a ruptured implant. My breast is smaller than the other side. Silicone implants are a totally different story. Silicone implants require an MRI. We need to do an MRI 3 years after your implantation, and then every 2 years after that, because silicone implants will have what's called a silent rupture, where the implant shell may be broken, but the patient won't know. So MRIs are the best test when you're considering rupture of silicone gel.
Wow. Okay. Well, the other major concern here by the FDA is they say that breast implants may be linked to cancer. They may have other health risks or concerns. What are some of those risks for women?
That's an excellent question. And back just a few months ago, the FDA asked or required Allergan Pharmaceuticals to take their textured silicone, saline implants and tissue expanders, called the BioCell textured implants, all to be removed from the United States so that plastic surgeons such as myself are no longer able to use textured silicone Allergan implants in the United States. The big concern was that the textured implants have shown a very low incident, but an incident of anaplastic large cell lymphoma. That is a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma within the capsule surrounding the implant that has been shown to be associated with textured coating of the implants themselves.
And we've talked about saline and silicone. In your opinion, as a plastic surgeon who's been doing this for quite a while, is one better than the other? Is one safer for women than the other?
It's a great question. It's a wonderful question. Patients ask me that every day in my Beverly Hills practice. And the answer is they're really both safe. You know, smooth implants are pretty much what I've been using for 23 years. 14,000 implants I've used have all been smooth shell, just because I just like the way they feel and they look. The answer is they're both safe. Smooth implants are safe. Textured implants are no longer available because there was that incidence of ALCL, the lymphoma. But if you have smooth implants and you've never had a history of having had textured implants, there's no reason to remove your implants unless you're having an issue, you know, scar tissue, pain, hardening, or if there's a rupture found on MRI.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Linder, for taking time to speak with us.